Welcome to Thriving in Abundance Talk. Of course, namhlanje is a Woman Thrive series, and siyathanda ukwamukela udadewethu usisi usizeka. Yabona nginamanoni la kule show.
Amagama ngempela.
Yes. Ngiyawathanda la magama ngempela ngoba isikhathi esiningi wona asuke ephethe ukuthi umthetho wethu, what is our purpose in life? They're usually located kula magama angajwayelekile ukuthi asetshenziswe, and uMakhwetshube. Of course, wakabhengu ungcelosi omkhulu. Welcome, Sis Pearl.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu, sawubona nawe zodwa.
Njani namhlanje?
No, I'm fine, thanks, and you?
We're good, thank you. And of course, let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching us live on Facebook, in Woman Thrive, the main purpose is to celebrate women that are doing big and small things, but our belief is that we are all leaders. It doesn't matter ukuthi uyi CEO, no more manager, no more administration, but as long as you are doing big things, we celebrate you. Let me give you an opportunity, Sis Pearl, and of course, Sis Pearl is the Group Chief Executive of Itala Development Finance Corporation. I pose ngempela ke le siphethe namhlanje. Amabhoza bese kuba khona amabhoza bese kuba khona ke amabhoza ngempela indaba yodlala. Sis Pearl, please greet our viewers this afternoon.
Sanibonani emakhaya, ngiyabingelela, nami ngiyajabula ukuba lana njengomama osebenzayo. Ngibonga kakhulu ukuthi ngi-invite ngithi kini sanibonani, ngiyanithanda nonke emakhaya.
Uthande mina kuqala phela.
Ngikuthanda kakhulu ke wena.
All right, just tell us briefly about yourself. We like to know where people are coming from. Like, I was born Wamashu and this is Pelia. Now, where do you come from?
Mina Zodwa, I was born at Thokoza. It's a township in a very small town of Alberton, which is about 50 kilometers away from Johannesburg. I was born and bred there. My parents were from the Eastern Cape, but they were those people that were from Sophia town. They've been in Joburg for quite a long time and entrenched themselves there. So I schooled there in Thokoza in Katlehong until I matriculated in Fumana High School in Katlehong. Yes.
Okay. As I was just saying, and then from Fumana, I think you went to Forte. Someone was saying, because I posted the ad, and it's like, oh, that's my classmate. You sounded excited.
Yeah, but Zora, I started working at 18 first before I even became your founder. So I started working at F&B immediately after I matriculated. And then as I grew through the ranks as a F&B, and luckily I was transferred by the bank to the Eastern Cape. That's where I joined the University of Fort Hare doing a BCom degree there.
Oh, right.
So my classmates might be from there, but as well, I have some classmates from UKZN, because when I was doing the Masters in Public Administration, I did it at UKZN.
Yes, I think she said it's an MPA.
yes, MPA, yeah.
She said it's an MPA. All right, but now starting to work at 18 years.
Yes, I couldn't even sign for myself. My father had to sign for me. And remember, at 18, I had a permanent job already from F&B, because I think I was turning 19 then. You know, you finish matric and then you start. Was turning 19, but Zodwa, I've been that child that has been working even during school holidays. So it was easy for me to actually get a job as quickly as that. But I must tell you that I went to F&B on the 22nd of December, which everybody was saying, they're busy doing Christmas shopping, and you are here to looking for a job, and this guy couldn't believe it. he said to me, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Where's your certificate?" I had everything. I had my results. I had exemption. I passed very well. And I was doing, like those subjects like accounting and business economics, of which, they were more relevant then. So they said on the 2nd of January, you can start. Just like that.
Actually, what's going through my mind is what kind of mindset and discipline that do you need to be in that space already at that age? Because Mina at 18, of course, I went to Wadlang as well. So we were like always looking forward to going across the road. So what sort of discipline and mindset do you need to be even thinking about working at that age?
Yeah, I think, Zora, when you started having piece jobs during your holidays, that working environment becomes a norm. It was with ease. I must tell you, nobody forced me to go and look for a job at home. But I felt that, I've been having piece jobs now that I've matriculated. I have to really get a real job. So I went for that job. Not at all, unfortunately for me. It was more, I think it was more to help the family, when you are a lot at home, because my mother, we should have been 9, but we were 6, and I'm in the middle there. And there were still siblings that were still behind me. My father was there with us. He was working, but you know how they work at the firms. The money was not good there. And my mother was just selling veggies, anything that she can sell. So I had that edge that I needed to work so that I can help out.
So it came from a sense of responsibility.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
Well said.
Now I can let you go on this one. Boss was like, my thought.
Yeah.
So then you were with First National Bank?
I was with First National Bank, yes. I started there, and then I registered with the Institute of Bankers, which was the body that you would get your qualifications. And I started doing my diploma in banking whilst I was working. Yes.
Okay, all right. And then so you started in Joburg?
In Joburg, I was still in Joburg, yes. I started working in Joburg. And then it came in, I think, 91, 92. I got married, then I was transferred from FNB to FNB in Ladysmith. That is where the Bhengus are from, yes.
All right.
So I was still transferred by FNB.
Okay.
So I still got married and still carried on with my work.
At First National Bank.
At First National Bank, Ladysmith this time around.
All right. Sufika lapho umakoti osemusha usebenza ebhange.
Osebenzayo, yes. Umakoti wasebhange lo wakaBhengu, yes. I started working.
All right. But now I'm just trying to figure out, when you start working at 18, you coming like raw from high school. So you may be mature to the same extent, but not mature enough to acclimatize into a corporate professional environment. What sort of skills did you feel you had at the time that, let's just say the first year when you just, coming in, and you need to survive, because also there's also an element of emotional maturity that you need to survive in a corporate environment?
Zora, I had no skills at all, but at the time, banking system was very good. They would train you in each and everything. I can stand up and say I am a banker because I have done literally everything. I can valuate a house. I can buy you a rate or on foreign exchange. I can open a savings account, a check account. I can analyze a balance sheet. But in the banking system then will take you in. Luckily, I knew what was a debit and a credit because of my accounting background. So each time people are depositing money, then there must be a debit and a credit. So you get trained. That time they used to train you on each and every units that you were going to go to. When you were going to start with savings, helping people at savings, they would teach you how to greet people, how to answer the phone, how then do you look at the trial balance. Those days they were still using trial balance to check for the person's balance. You would go literally to 2 weeks or a week's course before, and then the bank would rotate you. You know, it's not the job description and that you get in government, where if you are a savings clerk, you can't do something else. And then they will take you and make you a teller. And then for telling, you also go another 2 weeks for training. And bank used to spend a lot of money on training. So each and every unit you would go through, they would train you. And I also was helping myself with the studies on the diploma, which was called the licentiate diploma then.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
okay.
But the training, the internal training was the best, I can tell you, more than even what I was learning on the side, because I did the diploma, and then when I was transferred by the bank to the Eastern Cape, then I joined Forte. Then when I came back here, transferred again by the bank, I joined UKZN. So it has been like working and studying at the same time. And I must say, at that time, your banking work, if you are a good banker, was for 8 to 4. You know, you wouldn't really work overtimes and whatever. Your time was just set that you would be able to do that. Yeah.
I like that. You know why I like that? When you say you've done like everything that's involved in a banking institution, which essentially means that the position that you hold now as the group chief executive officer, no one can just come and bluff you with some kind of information and figures.
Never.
Pretend as if there's something that you don't understand, because you've been through the ranks.
Sure. I know we, even with loans and people wanting, SMMEs wanting loans, and people would come to me, but I would say to them, there are 3 principles of credit lending. And then a person would start, I say, yes, you do this and this and that, and that's it. So in banking, I've been a credit manager, I've been a relationship manager. I know how to build a relationship. And banking, as I'm saying, was good. When I was a relationship manager, because you were going to take clients out, you were even taught what sits where, your glass on the left and your whatever, and then on the right, and then how, let the client choose the wine and whatever. And then if you are there as well, just drink, just to be polite to the client, but you are still at work, don't drink too much, let the client, things like that you think, are these things necessary? But such skills are like, they perfect you. You like, you become this rounded person that would know the back office and the front office work, and no one can bluff you at all. Because if I'm saying I'm a banker, I can even advise a person. If you say I've got 10 million now, I can tell you, are you an entrepreneur, or would you like to save your money? And then I can say, this is how you can save your money. And I've always told people then, property is the right way to go. And when property business was going down on COVID, I was looking at myself. But now the turnaround is, because the interest rates have gone down so much, property is still good. A lot of people would be able then to qualify to buy new houses. On the housing side, residential property is still that good. So it's a balanced portfolio when you deal with properties. But I must say, with banking, really, I'm proud. I can tell anyone that I'm a banker, I do qualify. And I'm phase compliant as well. I can even open a small loan shark shop. I've not like the other loan sharks, but I do have a certificate.
You're talking to an SMME of COVID. Be careful what you say.
I know. I know. This COVID has been bad.
I know, eh?
Yeah. It has been bad for us as well. Yeah. From our side, because people didn't have money to pay for their loans, and people didn't have money to pay for properties where we are renting space. Yes, so it has been difficult. Yes, for us as well. Yeah.
Yeah, what you're saying, because now my next question is, take us through a day in the life of a CEO, you know, because now these are some of the challenges, and, you know, there's a bigger part of making decisions that are going to impact on a lot of things. So just take us through your day, your typical day.
Yeah, the day is always hectic. Some of the days are full of meetings, but before I even start my day, I would always have someone WhatsApping me, asking me if they can meet me, or querying about their loan or the property that they need to get in that they can't get in. You know, as I come in the office, then I have to phone the people, forward the SMSs, and say, please get back to clients. Where I can get back to a client myself after I've got the information, I do that. And then maybe it's a meeting after that. Then it's some of the things that I need updates and what happened, you know, with that query, and that query people would come back to me and tell me. And then you have to look at the strategic issues as well. I check how much we have in the bank as the bank as well. The collections, how were the collections, you know, if it's month end, did we collect enough money? They always send me so that I can see. And then there are projects that we do as well for other entities and departments. Then I go back to that just to see the progress as well, how were the progresses there. But a lot of meetings, you know, where you would meet with stakeholders. At the moment, we're meeting with everyone. We're trying to get ourselves, you know, to diversify the business, meeting with DBSA this side on how we can diversify the farmers that Abomoba, and then just to see what else they can do. So it's quite a packed day, the whole day.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Okay. I also do know that Itala Development Finance Corporation, you are involved with like projects for small businesses. I've seen in my awards something yes.
We are proud of Nkunzi Sematoleni. That's where we're encouraging young entrepreneurs to come with innovations. The last entrepreneur that won was a very brilliant young man from Umsinga, where he actually designed an app to help the people from Umsinga, or if someone is sick, so that they can contact the hospital quickly. And then the app would even give them, you know, the route of where the person is. Remember the location, because in rural areas, you know that there are no streets and whatever. Sometimes the ambulance will go round and round, not knowing where the place is. And he won that award in the Sematoleni. And we do have in Bogotia Zenzela. We were coincidentally launching it this morning. That's where we concentrate on small businesses, women-owned businesses. And then we have a competition with all of them. We have a certain criteria that we use, and then they win and they get mentored. The winnings are mentoring, and then making sure that we help you with the skills, how to run your business. Yeah, we've had quite a good turnout. We had Ms. Ntuli of Cooperative Yaseshowe talking very passionately about what Uetia and Itala has done for them today. Yeah, so we have all those pockets of competitions just to encourage the SMMEs to really go out there and bring innovations so that they can get into entrepreneurship and trade on their own.
Yes, it's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for that. And I think, quite honestly, we can all appreciate that the formal economy can only do so much. So the rest of mankind really need to start looking into entrepreneurship. And yet it's not that easy sometimes, especially in the rural areas, because the access to information and it's not readily available. So I suppose an institution like Itala, you are positioned in such a manner that you should be able to reach out to the people, especially in the rural areas, so that you know, it just makes life easy for them if they want to get into business.
Definitely, we do. Yeah, we actually said in each and every district, we need a representative so that we cover the whole of KZN. And if you look at where Itala is placed, even with most of our shopping centers, they are right in the deep rural areas in Bazwana, your Makatini, your Jozini. We are there, even Escort and outside. But we do have some pockets of our properties. Even we have one big light industrial area in Mount Edgecombe. So we're well diversified. We're all over. Yes.
Yeah.
And then in townships like Kwamashu, we have the smaller SMME outlets where we also give to small businesses in the township.
Yes,
so
yes.
Quite a number of properties, different properties where we really are there to help the people.
You know why I'm actually giggling? Because I'm reminded I grew up in Wamash. So back then it was still a KFC. So the one next to Polyclinic. There was a lady there who was a fashion designer. So, you know, the excitement of, hey, man,
yeah, no, it's still there. I know some of our buildings, I must say upfront, we do need to revamp them. They are dilapidated. But maybe just a reason, not an excuse, is that the amount that we charge is very low. Maybe that's where we couldn't really make much for maintenance. But we have to do something, and we are doing something about those. Even our shopping center in Guamashu, you know, if we had our way, it should be like that, like a gateway type in Guamashu, and we are working on that because that area is quite a busy area. We need something that is solid and good there as Italian.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I would really like to see that happening. Because, you know, kwakuyindawo zethu lezo masinqamula ukuthi hey sohlangana station. You know, do the things that young people do.
And when we told Mayor Etegwini, he was quite excited because you know, they also wanted to revamp the station side so that you know going over, even if
the whole precinct,
yes, the whole precinct is like good. Yeah, we also want to be part of that.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's actually quite exciting because I mean, I think it's important to talk also about the revitalization of the township economy. I mean, where are you guys with that?
Oh, we are deep in that, Zodwa. We have just launched Izimele, which is the township revitalization of all the spaza shops. And that one is a good project because it's got the part that is a grant from ETIA, which is our shareholder. As you know, that Itala is an entity of ETIA. So if we really had this big program, I think it was stopped a bit by COVID, but we are going to resuscitate that and make sure that people out there do have those shops. We're also looking at young people going out there, making sure that they do take this opportunity. If you don't have a space or in your home, you can put a container outside where that container will be a grant from ETIA. So when you get that grant, with the container with the shelves and everything, then you come to us as IDFC, which is Development Corporation, then we will give you a loan to actually stock up your container. And then when you have that container stocked up, our Itala Soc Limited, which is the banking arm of ourselves, our subsidiary will come, will give you a check account, your personal account, and the ADD machine where people can swipe. So it's a well-molded and rounded township, you know, revitalization program that we're having. We definitely want to go out there. And then over and above that, Itala Soc will make sure that you are insured. They insure your stock and everything that is there through ourselves. So that project that we're bringing. That was our former MEC very passionate about that one, and I know even the new MEC is going to like it because it's a good revitalization of a program. We even said, you know, with All the other shops, like your Checkers, your Spar, they have their own liquor shops on the side. We said, why not with spaza shops? If people want to have that on the side, we'll definitely do that, so that the rent circulates amongst us for a long time before it actually goes to anyone. You know, it goes out of the township, out of the rural area, out of where we stay, because what we do, we get the money, we go to town, we go everywhere. And we want to encourage people that before you even go to town, look around, see if you can't buy some of your stuff from the people, from your neighbors. And if there's somebody who's have got a small bakery there, support that person first before you go out. We're even saying, even when you are in town, look first. If you want veggies and whatever, there are people that are outside before you even go inside the supermarket. Buy your veggies there, you can buy the other stuff inside. So we need to drive that support to say, let us support our own businesses, so that, you know, it's better for us, because we are the ones that are carrying so much buying power, you know, and we are the consumers. We must accept that, because we hardly say, you know, I've got carrots in my garden or whatever. Each and everything that we consume, we buy. So we're encouraging that, look around and buy from the people that are around before you even go outside. Even when you want something to wear, look around if you can't get someone in your own area who's got a machine to make whatever you want. So it's something that we said we really wanted to drive as a child, so that we get people to support one another, and making sure that this economy, we hold it together on our own. That's the only ways out there. And people, you know, sometimes when you say that, they think, but how much? How much do we take to town as people from Guamashu, from Mlazi, from everywhere else? It is high time that people that are now staying in town, our own people from anywhere in town, must say, okay, I need some veggies. Let me quickly go to Guamashu and buy them there. I'll buy the other stuff here. Even if you are from Umhlanga, you can quickly go there and say, let me go support there and bring my veggies. Why not? Why not? Let us just try and change this economy and turn it around. And it's us that are supposed to drive that. You know, in these platforms, we must talk about that more and say, how then do we help, you know, one another, and turn this economy to work for ourselves as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is a very important conversation to have, if anything, also just among ourselves as the African community. You know, last week, we hosted a conversation for the Durban Business Fair. And one of the speakers mentioned that, and I think he actually said that in the Jewish community, the money circulates 77 times. I mean, I felt like my head was spinning, because I'm like, really? And of course, in the Indian community, is the same thing. I mean, he was just making an example, but I think when it comes to us as Africans, it's actually, if it exists, it's very minimal, you know, and you really have to be intentional about this. I was talking to my assistant the other day. I'm like, hey, you know, I've always wanted the Batu, you know, the Batu Amateku, the Batu design. Yes, the shoes. So they opened for a new shop in Pavilion, and I think somewhere at Toti. So I was like, okay, now I have to drive to Pavilion, but I have to, you know, it's something that I need. I feel like it's important and it's imperative, and we must support this proudly South African brand. And I think it's really, really important, even more so in the townships, you know, whereby why should I actually buy, you know, the other brands when there is a lady, you know, in the community that can do the bread, that can do the queen cakes and everything else that you may require. We in the baking space. So I feel like you guys are on the right track. We just have to maybe constantly talk about it and have it out there, and make sure the implementation is a well-oiled machine, so that, you know, people that are entrepreneurs and they've got, you know, the energy to do it, because to me, the means are there with all the support that is available from Itala and Etia. It just requires probably even young people that are serious about making a difference for themselves, for their families, and the community at large. And that's the only way that you can eradicate poverty.
Yes, not definitely. Yeah. Even if we can say, people are not working. If you look at the grants that people are getting just from SASSA alone, in KZN Zodwa, SASSA pays over 2 billion per month. Yes, 2 billion per month. And yeah, the 1 billion is around eThekwini. All the townships and the villages around eThekwini, 1 billion circulates there. So there is money that is in circulation all the time, that if we do consciously make sure that we support our own businesses, we can make wonders. Yeah. But it's something that we must be conscious about. When you're conscious, even when you go to the shop, you check who's the designer, who's made this, and then sometimes if I see, it's a young upcoming designer doing a t-shirt, written something, I just buy it just for support. So when we are conscious about it, all of us, so we need to build that consciousness amongst ourselves so that everybody is aware.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. When you mention SASSA, in my mind, what comes is the disappointments, because there was a lot of stuff in the media, this, that, and the other. And it would be disappointing to you at a personal level. Now, as a professional, how do you bounce back from such disappointments?
Zodwa, the SASSA story, it might have come as a disappointment. But, I always say, that 8 months, 6 months, I was acting as a CEO of SASSA. Firstly, when I was heading KZN at SASSA, I think from corporate, real corporate, which is banking, which is like staunch corporate, it taught me socialism, which I was never exposed to, where you would go out there and see people really struggling and see how then you can help them. Because in the bank, I've been like seeing people coming and looking for this, people with money and people that don't have money don't go much to the bank. So that socialism came. But the 8 months that I acted as CEO of SASSA in Joburg, with all, the talks and the bad publicity that SASSA had even before I went there Umlilo Vele overtime. So I look back and I'm saying, what? It molded me that I could take any situation. And it taught me that, sometimes with media, that it's the perception that is there. And people would never come back to you to say, what did you do or what didn't you do? And when I look back, I look and I check and say, I did so much in that 6 months, because I used to sleep at 2 o'clock and whatever. And most of the things that were supposed to be done by SASSA, even from 2014, for instance, to take the payments back to SASSA or to be controlled by SASSA, part of the things that I did, taking the money from the company that was helping SASSA to pay at that time, and taking the full amount and opening an account with the Reserve Bank. There was a big step, because the full amount was taken away from the company to the Reserve Bank already. So whatever else that was supposed to follow, the money was gone already. Once that money was no longer there, it was like the whole system, you've shut that system already, which is what the Constitutional Court was saying, because the invalidity of the tender, we had to do that. That I did. And, taking over some of the work, like making sure that the payments for people that have got insurances, funeral covers, abangcwabi, ogogo, they are done by SASSA, so that if they have any queries, they can't say, no, it's not us. They would say, it's here. And then if they want to cancel, it's easy for them to cancel because all the forms are here. That was a big milestone. I felt proud, when I did my affidavit to the Constitutional Court, And the way people say, no, you must say this, I said, no, I'm only going to say what I have done in the 6 months. And that was enough for the judge to exonerate me. So when I look back there, I say, yeah, it was tough. And some were saying, oh, it was a dismal failure when you were doing that. But I say, it's because you don't know and you didn't ask and you didn't want to know. You wanted to carry some narrative that you were told to carry. But all those that would come to me and ask me, they got the other version, which I never saw anyway in the newspapers. So the unfolding of saying, no, let us rather do this internally. And some people were saying, no, let us give us to post office. If you look at the mess of the post office, not because they didn't want to do the job, but it's what we said, that as much as it's government to government, but capacity was never there. And government was supposed, which I'm part of as well, to build that capacity so that they would be able to carry that. So that's one thing. When I look back, I say, it was a tough one, but I'm proud because I know, I wish somebody would say, well, let's see, or let's look at your affidavit and see what are the things that you did. And it was easy, to say that. But at the moment, I look back and I say, I learned so much there with the pressure that you don't know where it's come from. I don't think I'll ever be able to have that pressure again, or even if when it comes, then I will understand, because I've been there already. It was a very good experience for me. Yeah, it was a good experience.
I like that. I like that taking, whatever positives from all the experiences, because, some of us that are spiritually inclined, we're like, your test will be your testimony, sister. So go through gracefully.
Amen. Amen to that, sister. Because now I can look back and say, yes, you know what? No one will come around and say, but what you did there. No one wants to say anything because my analysis was spot on, Zodwa. And I look back with pride because I know that I wanted to align the exact act and the mandate of SASSA to what they are supposed to do, because according to the mandate, we were supposed to pay the whole of Social Security. How then are you going to pay if you're still giving somebody else to do that for you? It was not easy. But I look back and say, what was happening there? But I'm glad,
Yes.
It was such an experience. It was like you're really walking. Then today is this and tomorrow is that, and you're looking there, you're trying to answer here, and people are asking you there, and you're thinking, you almost doubt yourself. You almost think, where was I able to do that? And then when I look back, I look at the people who are saying that was a dismal failure. You know what? It was great. It was something that even today, I think what I did, it still stands, and nobody has ever added anything else to that. I think they're doing it now, but I'm proud of what I did with it. Only 6 months.
Yeah, only 6 months, ladies and gentlemen. There's a song I like by Benjamin Dube that says, Jesus help me to walk on the water. When you are a leader, it's something that you must always be mindful of. There will be times like Jesus Christ where you will be expected to walk on the water, and you just have to walk on the water.
Definitely.
Yeah. But also, I think it's important, especially for us as women, because there's a whole talk about pull head down syndrome and all of those things. Just always be mindful of the fact that there is a story behind the story, and perhaps just be intentional that when it's a female executive that is being, written about negatively in the newspaper, just make it your challenge to go there and get more information and find out what's happening, rather than, the whole thing and this gossiping thing must really stop if we are going to take over as women in South Africa and in the continent, because it is our time, but we need to display ukuba ready to be able to do these things, because our counterparts abanaso isikhathi semanyikinyiki, bangena kwi-golf course bathi 1-2-1-2 bakhulume bayiqede lento kuqhutshekelwe phambili. And we really need to start learning that as females, especially us who are in leadership positions. I'm glad that you've told us the story.
And Zodwa, we need to move away from taking, serious decisions on perceptions. Find out, ask the person, find out. There's a lot that goes on in South Africa, which is not true, deliberately so, about people. And no one, ever wants to go back and say, let me just phone this person and ask her, why? Why? What happened? Why did you do this? And sometimes when you get an opportunity and someone asks you and they say, oh, is it? Was that the story? I'm saying, yes, that is the honest story, not what you've been reading. And people will start saying, oh, now I understand. But, this thing of just saying anything about somebody and people start, railing about it. And the bad thing with our media as well, they would have a story here and they just tag on that story. They don't also go to find out the truth about the story. And then you just see everybody else is tagging on the story, and it's not good for your reputation as a person, because a person will go back to the story and read and say, wow, what is this person? And when they start talking to you, they say, but now I'm seeing a different story, a person and a story. And I would always ask, but where was the other story? On Google, of course, and those are the things that are really there. And they stay there forever. They stay there forever. And when you exonerated, nobody would say, okay, let me make this big story and say, no, this person was found not to be wrong, not to never acted negligently or acted in good faith and whatever. No one wants that story. People always want to follow a negative story. And it is time that even on TV and everywhere else, tell the other story. There's so much stories that are there that need to be told. And if we hear about something, follow up, ask the person, find out what is this that I'm hearing, and then you will get an honest answer. A person is always, an honest person will always be willing to talk to you about anything and everything. So make sure that you do that. Yeah,
absolutely. No, I agree with that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a good idea to go deeper into a story. And of course, our brothers and sisters that are in the media space also, they just also need to be fair when they do these things so that we can get proper reporting. Nothing wrong with sensationalism at some point, but it shouldn't be to the detriment of other people. I think that's an important point to make. So 3 things that you know now that you didn't know 5 years ago as a leader.
That when the going gets tough, be tougher. Make sure that you don't retreat, you don't go back, stand your ground. Make sure that you are there. And then the other thing that I've learned, if you are a leader, they can put you anywhere, even if it's something that is new to you. For instance, I would have looked after properties in a certain way, but with the property business that is with digital, learn more about it. Find out, how, what is said about the infrastructure. And the third thing that I always want to emphasize, it's something that I've always known, be honest. Just be honest. In whatever you do, just be honest.
Nothing beats honesty, because when you're honest, yes,
be honest. Be honest. You know, to err is human. We all make mistakes. Even great leaders have made mistakes. If you've made a mistake, say so and apologize as a leader. You're not going to be perfect, but you know, lead from the front as well. Because some leaders being scared of making mistakes, then they are always behind to say, is that person and that person. You know, when something is wrong about Itala, it's me. I can't say, no, it was somebody else who did that. It is me, whether I've known about it or I didn't know about it. I must be able to carry the whole responsibility of the organization. Honestly so, you know, even if I didn't know, I would say, I didn't know, but I take the responsibility.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I like that. Take responsibility, be honest, and of course, stand your ground because you
Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Yeah. And be a firm person. Don't say this today and tomorrow you're saying something else. Just be firm.
Yeah. All right. Okay. That's perfect. What sort of advice would you give a young lady that is looking at you and thinking, hi, Sister, I like that, you know? Perhaps you've been looking at, you know, your career, you know, progression and thinking, you know, I would like to do that at some point, you know, to be at her position, you know, what sort of advice would you give to that person?
I would say to young women out there, you know what? I don't want to say study only, but make sure that you gather information, research, you know, get qualify yourself in whatever you want to do. Whether you want to be a designer, be a qualified designer, you know, learn more, get more information. Whether you want to be a decorator or you like to work with flowers, make sure that you know the flowers, you know when they grow, you know, get that information. Make sure that you educate yourself in whatever field that you're interested in, so that it's, some people will go with their talent, which is good, but add more to your talent. Add more. They always say, you know, practice exceed talent. You know, when you get more information, even about what you are good at with your hands, it helps you to grow more, so that you don't really, or you don't get yourself left behind. And as young women as well, I think make sure that you build yourself. You know, that self-development is very important. And secure yourself. Don't look at other people to say, no, Mina, I'll get married and get a rich husband and whatever. Make sure that you work hard, you know, work hard before you even think of working smart, because the smartness will come from you working hard. And you know what, I always say, I know, you know, we might differ, you know, that prayer, that meditation that you do, you know, have that conversation with your God, you know, when you are alone, you know, without even being with other people, you know, do that more often. It builds you to be yourself, because if you do that, you are building your own inner self, so that you know when tough time comes, it's either you will go there and kneel, or you will go there and meditate, do all those things, you know, that will help you. Have some mechanism of self-help, you know, for instance, when I'm having a tough time, I need a very long walk, you know, a hard walk. So by the time I finish that walk, I would have thought of a solution. I come back home, I've got a solution and everything is done and dusted. So that's my way of coping. Cope on your own. Don't rely on saying, when I have a problem, I'll take this tablet and this tablet. No, you know, talk to your mind, talk to yourself. And once you do that, you'll be able then to have that self-control of yourself, so that you can't blame the other people around you that they influence you. So that's one thing that you have to do as a person. Be self-reliant.
Be self-reliant, be self-reliant, be self-reliant. Of course, Jesus Christ left us with the Holy Spirit as our friend, our guide, our comforter, and our counselor. So we have to often have conversations. I'm just trying to check if you've got any questions or comments on our Facebook page. Hey, madoda, abantu kushuthi kumnandi ukulalela. I don't see any questions. I don't see any questions today. If you were not a banker, what would you be doing?
Well, I wanted to be a CA.
Okay.
That's why I was still pursuing become accounting. I wanted to be a CA. You know, that was my first love that I really wanted to. I'm glad I was not, because that's quite a boring job if you leave it at that. You know?
You would have switched over and come back.
But you get highly paid. It's a high-paying job. It's a good job. And, you know, yeah, that's what I wanted to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Yes, mina ngicabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe uzosingabe uyacula somewhere.
I wish I could sing. I love music. I love music. But me singing, but ke masesontweni ngiphakama ngiyayiqalela. Ngiyazama ukuthi ngiculele. Angicela ukuthi awuqale lapho.
Okay.
Sebezongena-ke abazalwane.
Then anything is possible. Then anything is possible in that case. All right, Sis Pearl, I think we're running out of time, and I'd like to just ask you if there's anything that you would have loved to share that I didn't ask. It's the opportunity to share.
Yeah. What I'd love to share is that I know I've done so much when I was working, because I think some people struggle with that. I really would love some encouragement to write a book about studying whilst working at the same time until you reach, you know, at the level where now I'm really trying hard to do my PhD. But when I look at from the diploma that I got and the certificates that I have with all the universities, I did them whilst I was working at the same time. So it's one thing that I would like to do one day, is to write that book to encourage young people that don't have the opportunity to go there and sit in the desk after their matric, to say, get a job, but nothing is impossible. You know, you reach whatever, you know, you can reach the heights, even if you didn't go there at the time you wanted to, and be patient.
All right, let's talk time frame so that I can hold you accountable to this book. Ladies and gentlemen, she is saying it live that she wants to write this book, and people need to get this information.
Yes, let's launch it November 2021.
November 2021, we've got 12 months to write this book, ladies and gentlemen. I will call her back in November 2021.
Yeah, I need that encouragement, because I know I started writing and then I got busy and I left it, but I still have some of the things that I wrote.
Oh,
but I think it's a nice book. It's an easy book, because I would be writing from my own experience. I definitely would.
No one can dispute your experience and your story, so it's easy. Write it. I'm excited because I think a lot of people are going to benefit from that book, because yes, it's true, some people never really get an opportunity to go into tertiary, and therefore they have to work and then study whilst they're working. I mean, there was a lot, I mean, even when I was at tertiary, you know, there were a lot of people that studied in the evenings, and then some will then come the teacher's diploma full-time. So, you know, it takes a lot of discipline.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yeah, you must know. Yeah, you must have that determination within yourself that you want to do this, and it helps as well when you set the record time to say, I'm going to finish it this time. Otherwise, you can drag it forever because you are working at the same time.
Yeah, no, I like that. One of our friends also just wrote last week on Facebook to say that he's got this book and whatever has happened. Now he wanted the whole Facebook community to hold him accountable. I'm liking this thing of the community calling others to account, because it's nice, because then you know what. There's a lot of people that are looking forward to this. So there's
and it would help them as well. Yeah.
Yes.
No, and you must please phone me much and ask me how far I am with
Oh, again ngizwe
March.
nawe phela noma uMarch noma ngoJanuary mayisuka nje
Noma manje ngoDisemba. Thank you, Zod,
Yeah,
about that. I
thank
love
you
that
so
idea.
much. No, I will. I'll
Yes.
definitely do that. I will do that. Thank you so much, Sis Pearl, for joining us, and would like to take this opportunity to wish you everything of the best. Of course, kumnandi ukubona abantu besifazane abaphethe imbokodo esebenzayo, because funeka usebenze ukuze ukwazi ukuba seqophelweni eliphezulu lokuphatha inkampani ezinkulu njenge-Thala Finance Development Corporation. Are you able to share mhlambe website yeThala, so some people who are listening maybe want to get more information about the Township Economy Program?
Yes, you can go to our website, which is, when you put Ithala, then it will take you to the www.ithala.
Okay.
And then .co.za. Yeah.
All right. All right.
And then you will get part of stock as well and ourselves. And then we've just launched a new WhatsApp page as well as Ithala, where people can go in. When you go into our website, you'll get that link so that you can download the number and then make sure that you have the WhatsApp.
All right.
You
That's
register
lovely.
your company in the WhatsApp, yes.
Oh, okay. That's good. I love that. I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to the website and then download that WhatsApp number. It just makes life easy, so you can communicate easily with the people that are involved with making sure ukuthi impilo esikakhulukazi yosomabhizinisi abancane ibalula ukuze bakwazi ukuhweba kahle eindaweni zasemalokishini kanjalo naseindaweni zasemakhaya. Gama lami nguZodwa Msimang Kansibande, signing out. Siyabonga Sisibusi Shabalala, who is our producer, and the whole team at Econo Thrive Global. Thank you, Sis Pearl.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Siyabonga sis. Thank you.